Hello, everyone. On today's podcast episode, I'm going to talk about determination and perseverance. In the Bible, the one trait that that God, sees in people, right? The one trait that people have in the Bible that God sees and uses is perseverance. If you notice that almost everyone that God uses in the Bible, is always persevering. They never give up. They never let Satan, delude them or trick them into, giving up on life or into giving up on God. God has used sinners. God has used righteous people. And God has used normal people in the Bible. The Bible is filled with stories of people that God has used. And the one trait that most of these people have is that they never give up. They never give up. Why? Is because when you don't give up, it's hard for Satan to manipulate you, to force you to give up. Satan's not a human being. So, many people actually think that Satan is actually a physical being. When the truth is, Satan is capable of entering your mind. There's many places, there are many verses in the Bible where, Satan has taken over people, the minds of people. It is not a real possession. It is actually, the same thing that happened with Adam and Eve. There's a reason why it's easier to sin in this world than it is to do good. Is because of Satan. Satan would delude you into thinking that doing something corrupt or evil is better. They'll give you like monetary, your mind will be filled with thoughts, that you otherwise normally would not think about. When you're given a situation that, that you get to make a choice, you can either make a good choice or you can sin or make a bad choice. Right during that moment, you get two opposing sides in your head. The side that tells you to do good or to just let things go, be the bigger man. Then there's the side that just tells you, this is better for you. Do evil. This is better for you. Right? And every single person in this world has those thoughts. We're always confronted with the same problem, with the same choices. Every time we need to make a choice, we're always stuck between that dichotomy. Should we do good or should we do bad? Should we be kind or should we be merciless? We always have that, It's easier to do bad because our minds get flooded with thoughts, with desires to do evil instead of good. And we have to have a strong and persevering mind to not allow Satan to delude us into thinking that doing evil is better than doing good. We shouldn't allow Satan to, delude our minds into thinking that, harming someone is better than just letting them go. There was a case recently where a driver ran over a child, right? And then instead of just letting the child go, do you know what the driver did? He picked the child up and then killed him. Picked the child up, kidnapped the child, took the child somewhere else, then killed the child and dumped the body. Why? Because he didn't want people to find out that he ran over the child. He hit the child. He had a better choice, but because his mind was too deluded into thinking that, hey, if I just kidnap the child and kill the child, no one will find out. If they always have the mindset of, if I commit a crime and no one's there to see it, did I really commit the crime? This is Satan working. That mindset is foolish. Why? Because there's security cameras. God will force you to tell you on yourself in the future as well. That's why there's so many people telling on themselves, You'll be forced to tell on yourself. Your guilty conscience will force you to tell on yourself. You end up bragging to somebody else, and then that person may end up calling the cops. Or better yet, there may be witnesses hidden around that you're not even paying attention to that will catch you. But yet, during the process where you can make the choice, a good choice, you're saying, I'm sorry. If I have to go, spend a few days in jail, I'll spend a few days in jail. It's my fault. And some parents are pretty kind. They just accept it. It's not like the child died or anything. They just accept it and just let things go. It's the government that you have to worry about. The government may press charges. You may lose your license. But it's still better than killing somebody. The child was not, the child was not even hurt that badly when he was hit. When the child was hit, wasn't hurt that badly. But yet the driver of the truck still decided, nope. Instead of just letting things go, right? The child could still walk properly, but nope. Instead of just letting things go, it's better to just kidnap the child. That way nobody finds out that, I hate the child to begin with. If nobody finds out that I hit the child with my truck, did I really hit the child with my truck? The answer is yes, because even if there's no one there, God is there watching you, because God is omnipresent. God is everything. God is always watching everything you do, even when there's no one around. So this is how Satan works. Satan will trick you into thinking that doing the evil deed is better than doing the good deed. Being evil is better than good, because Satan is so good at manipulating you and manipulating people. This is why there's so many crimes in this world. There's so many evil things in this world. This is why the government always has all these laws, that protect people. Because the government already knows that if there's no punishment for, doing evil, people would rather do evil than do good. It's just how life works. It's easier to go to hell than go to heaven. That means it's easier to sin than it is to be a good person, a good child of God. And if you don't have the determination and the perseverance to never allow Satan to tell you to give up being a good person, give up, following the path that you need to follow. If you're not determined enough to never allow Satan to delude you into thinking you're worthless, you will give in and you start doing evil deeds. There's a mindset in scientists that I've noticed, and also atheists. All atheists have this, they always have a nihilistic mindset of the world. This is why, it's really hard to be an atheist. It's also very hard to be around atheists because they have a demented view of the world. They have a nihilistic, doomsday view of the world where there's no God, nothing matters anymore. The world is worthless. Human beings are worthless. And some scientists also have that mindset that humans are worthless. We're just a tiny speck of dust, floating in the Milky Way. We're worthless. But the truth is, your value, this is the devil speaking. The truth is, your value is not based on size. The value of a human being is not based on size alone. God is omnipresent. Do you know what that means? It means that everyone is God. No matter how small you are still God. That means as long as you never give up in life, as long as you never treat yourself as worthless, there's nothing you can't do in this world. Whether you're a sinner or you're a non-sinner, God has used sinners to do, some of the greatest things in the Bible. As long as you never give up on life, as long as you never give up on yourself, you are not worthless. It is impossible for you to be worthless because you're God. Everything in this world is God. Everyone in this world is God. There's nothing you can't do in this world as long as you believe in yourself. Perseverance. You must have perseverance to let, these naysayers and these demonic people who always love, telling you you're worthless, the world is worthless, you can't do anything, you're incapable of doing this, you're incapable of doing that, you're just a small tiny speck, you just want human, There are billions of humans in this world, you're just a tiny one. Guess what? Even a tiny human in the end is still God. No matter how small the human being is, that human is still God. Do you really think, a child is worthless because it's a baby? Does the value of a baby matter? Does it really count if you call a baby worthless because it's small? Do you really think a child is worthless just because it's small? Don't you have, as a person, don't you have family members that are shorter than you? Would you really believe that the family members that are shorter than you are worthless just because they're shorter than you? Don't you have family members that are taller than you? Would you really believe the people who are taller than you are more valuable than you are just because they're taller than you? Size does not matter. When it comes to importance, size does not matter. Everyone in this world is God, even the little children. No matter how small a baby is, that baby still has value. Do not let Satan delude you into thinking you're worthless just because you're a small person. You're not small. There's nothing you can't do in this world. Absolutely nothing. Never give up on yourself. In the past, it was impossible, right? When many people will tell you it's impossible for you to do this, impossible for you to do that. You're just one person, you're just one man. Guess what? In the past, a car was impossible to create. In the past, a cell phone was impossible to create. Thousands of years ago, it was impossible to create a light bulb. Yet here we are with cell phones, light bulbs, the things that people thought was impossible to do. Somebody who never gave up on themselves thought it was possible. And because that person thought it was possible, he made the impossibility, he made the impossible possible. He brought something that didn't exist into this world. They brought a cell phone into this world. They brought a computer into this world. They brought electricity, light, planes, buildings, glass, all these, sophisticated things in life. They brought it into this world, even though everyone around them told them what? That it was impossible to do. Do not give up on yourself. As God, there's nothing in this world that you can do, whether you're a sinner or not. The fact that you're God makes everything possible for you. The Bible even says some of the people you think will go to hell may end up going to heaven. The people you think will go to hell the most may end up going to heaven. Do you know why they'll go to heaven and many others will not? It's because they never give up on themselves. No matter how great their sins are, they knew that as long as they never give up, they will never, they will go to heaven. As long as they never give up trying to be a good person, one day they will go to heaven. You have to have that mindset that as long as you never give up, one day you will accomplish whatever you need to accomplish in life. God will always help those who help themselves. God will always help those who never give up in life. Never give up on yourself. Never see yourself as worthless. Never see yourself as trash. No matter how, much the nihilists want to, say you're worthless, you're not a worthless human being. At the end of the day, while you're alive, you're God. While you're dead, you're God. Whether you're the greatest, child of God in the world, the most sinless man in the world, you're God. Even when you're the most sinful, demented, evil creature in the world, you'll still be God. It means you always have the chance to change. You always have the chance to make your life better. You always have the chance to create great things in life. You always have the possibility, the power to make the impossible possible. The greatest sinners in this world could still go to heaven, while those who give up easily will never step foot in heaven, no matter how much they worship God, because God will always help those who help themselves. God will always help those who persevere, who never give up on themselves, who never see, the world as worthless, who never see themselves as worthless, who never sees their family members as worthless, who never sees the world as worthless. See yourself as who you truly are. A child of God, that's who you are. That's who you always will be. Do not look down on yourself. Size does not determine importance. Importance determines importance. And God is the most important thing in this world. And since God is everything, you are important by default because you're still God. At the end of the day, no matter how small you are, no matter how insignificant you appear to be, you are still God. Never look down on yourself. Never look down on yourself. There's nothing you can't do in this world. The things that your ancestors once thought were impossible. We're living that life right now. Headphones, Bluetooth headphones, all these things that will be no different from sci-fi, no different from fiction. We experience these things on a daily basis. Phones, these things were complete magic. In the past, these are things that were incapable. That people were not capable of doing, of creating. Yet here we are with cell phones. Here we are with Bluetooth headphones. Here we are traveling to the moon and back. Here we are discovering atoms and subatomic particles. Here we are, doing the impossible on a daily basis. And yet, we never think anything of it. The reason why we're capable of getting to where we are today is because there are people in this world who never gave up on themselves, who never saw themselves as worthless, who never saw the things they create as worthless, who never saw the things they did on a daily basis as worthless. Because they never give up on themselves. God naturally helped them, in life. They always succeeded. They ended up succeeding because they never gave up. You only fail when you give up. It's not called failure, but a minor setback. As long as you never give up, every time you fall, it's not called failure, but a minor setback. That's all it is. The moment you give up, that's when it's called failure. Never give up on life and never give up on yourself. And you find that there's nothing you can do in this world. Because at the end of the day, you are still God. A child of God in the end is still God. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I pray we all live a great life, and enjoy the most of life. Amen. I'll see you guys later. Bye.